The Year of the Ox. Light glistened off the morning dew, and the rising sun welcomed another day. Inside the stables, Mama and Papa Ox yawned after a long night. Resting in the bed of hay, they tickled their new baby. Mama smiled. "Hello there, honey." Only a few hours old, the youngster was rustling about already. She had a sweet and peaceful manner, so Papa suggested, "Let's call her Olivia." The proud parents introduced the calf to their friends. "She's a big gal," they all agreed. Mama whispered, "Tomorrow you'll meet the farmer's daughter. Her name is May." During her visit, the girl petted Olivia and combed her hair. "I know we'll be best friends," smiled May, and she adopted Olivia as her little sister. The grateful heifer promised, "I'll always look out for you." Sharing a bubbly spirit, the girls played tag, hide and seek, and kick the can in the courtyard. The pair loved to stop and smell the roses, but sometimes their wild wandering could make quite a mess. Afterwards, Olivia's parents took her aside. Mama noted, "There's a time and place for fun and games." Papa added, "Yes, dear, it's about time you learned to pull your own weight around here." The following morning, Mama and Papa showed her the shed where they got ready for work. Every day, the bull and cow would each carry a yoke and pull a plow. Olivia wanted to pitch in despite Mama's misgivings. Papa pointed out, "But the yoke is heavy and tilling the ground is hard labor." Olivia boasted, "I'm a big girl now and I can handle it by myself." But as she might try, Olivia was too small to plow the fields. Many times she got stuck in the mud and had to be rescued. Moo! After a long day, Olivia came home dirty and plumb tuckered out. After dinner, Mama advised, "Dear, maybe you could try a different job." "Yes, I'd like that very much," answered Olivia eagerly. The next day, May led Olivia to the nearby well to fetch some water. Gingerly, the girl filled her bucket and balanced it upon her head. Her little sister bragged, "Ha, I can carry much more than you." "Be careful," May warned, as Olivia moseyed along with 2 buckets on her shoulders. They were almost home when a rooster bumped into them and crowed. Olivia slipped and spilled the water everywhere. After cleaning up, May thought of another chore for Olivia. "Next week is harvest time. You can bring the rice to be milled." Olivia nodded, and they prepared to collect the crop. During the harvest, May loaded stalks of grain onto Olivia's back. "This is easy," smirked Olivia. But on the way to the mill, a snake darted in front of her. Startled, Olivia scattered her load all over the road. Now, both girls were embarrassed, but the weekend was here, and May's parents had planned to sell their vegetables to a local farmer's market. Olivia promised to behave, so Mama and Papa let her come along. The town squares bustled with buying and selling, and May's parents displayed their bounty. Olivia marveled at all the sights, sounds, and smells. Meeting a friendly rat, she followed it to a stall close by. Suddenly, a yell rang out, "Eek!" Soon a crowd gathered to watch Olivia eat someone's fruit. Neighbors wagged their hooves, Papa shook his horns, and May hurried to drag her pal away. After the commotion subsided, Mama moaned, "Darling, I guess you're not old enough to help us after all." May and her parents were disappointed too, so Olivia trudged back with her tail behind her legs. At home, Olivia wanted to prove that she was a hard worker, but May's parents had business in town with Mama and Papa. Leaving to tend the fields, May told Olivia, "Please just stay behind and out of trouble." Alone, with little to do, Olivia vowed, "I'll show them somehow." Later, she heard a cry pierce the sky. "Wah!" As noises suddenly filled the air, Olivia rushed outside and couldn't believe her eyes. Everyone was running away from the farmland that was quickly flooding. An old dam had burst. "Moo!" bellowed Olivia, but no one stopped to help. Immediately, she wondered, "Where is May?" Olivia jumped into the rice paddy to search for her sister. Passerby warned her, "Leave while you can," but she pressed on against the current and finally spotted May clinging to the branches of a cypress tree. Wet and worried, May was surprised to see Olivia. "What are you doing here?" "This is no time for questions," Olivia sputtered. "Get down and climb on board." Swimming towards home, Olivia picked up others stranded by the rising water. Juggling them on her shoulders, Olivia plowed ahead. At last she clambered over the ridge to safety. Before they could catch their breath, they noticed that the bank had begun to buckle. If it gave way, the water would flood the village below. May cried, "We have to warn the townsfolk." "Hurry up and go," replied Olivia, as she pressed her shoulders against the dike. "I'll hold it up." Hesitating, May hopped on her bicycle. "I'll pedal as fast as I can, and you'd better still be here when I get back." Leaning against the crumbling wall, Olivia spotted a crack where the water began dripping through. She needed to patch it, but didn't dare move. What could she do? Hastily, she stuck her tail into the hole. The plug held, and Olivia sighed in relief. Feeling the world's weight on her shoulders, Olivia didn't want to let everyone down. Digging her hooves into the ground, she pushed with all her might. Moo! Time crawled by. Just as May's family and Mom and Papa arrived with lots of helpers. As the water finally receded, Olivia took a break. She was dirty, soggy, and hungry, but she was very happy. May hugged Olivia. "Thanks for coming back for me." Olivia blushed. "I know you'd do the same." Joyfully, Mama and Papa remarked, "You two are the bravest girls in the whole world." Soon life returned to normal, and Olivia and May played their games and roamed about as before. Their parents watched how they were growing up, both hungry for adventure and strong-willed. The sisters loved each other, heart and soul. May knew that Olivia was there for her, and when it counted, and everyone around would remember that this was a marvelous year of the ox.